In Portuguese, there is a unique word that doesn't exist in the English language, which is the word saudade. Saudade is feeling a strong yearning, almost a melancholic longing for something. It's stronger than missing. You can feel saudade for a person, a place, a period of time, or even a thing, like your mother's homemade lasagna that you haven't tasted in years, like your favorite bookstore that you went to as a kid. It's like a nostalgic yearning for something that you love, but is currently absent from your life. Saudade is what I always feel for São Paulo. Whenever I'm there, I'm constantly reminded of all of the people, places, and things that I feel saudade for. And then whenever I'm on the plane on my way back to the States, that feeling of saudade gets even stronger.
Seguindo a mami poderosa do mercado.
Ah, você tá bem. Ó, tem uns quiosques, dá pra você fazer em casa, ó. Pra cozinhar em casa.
So I was born in Brazil, specifically Rio de Janeiro, because my parents were living there at the time. But my mom's side of the family is from São Paulo, and that's where my parents met each other and lived. I left Brazil when I was really young, but it's funny how I still feel such a strong pull to São Paulo despite not even growing up there. Once we got our passports, we would go and visit in the summers, so it always still felt like home. It's been over 4.5 years since I was last here. It's the longest time I've gone without visiting my family. Due to the pandemic, I felt like I missed out on a lot of my family's lives. In those years, I've had family move to other countries, and I've had cousins that now have children. Like, can you imagine? The last time I saw my cousins, no one had kids. And now I feel like I hopped in a time machine and all of a sudden they have toddlers. It's wild.
Ai, como eu adoro esse parque também.
Engraçado, né?
Nossa, quanto peixe, meu Deus do céu.
Parece que eles ficam tudo olhando pra cá, não parece?
É.
Olha, abriu a boca. Tenho medo de chegar perto e derrubar. Eu nem enxergo porque eu tô fotografando. Tá isso.
Eu sou tão artística, olha. Olha que bonitinho.
Vai se refazer.
So join my mom and I for an afternoon tea at this beautiful place in São Paulo called Fundação Maria Luisa y Oscar Americano. I know that's really long. The tea experience is just absolutely incredible, and then you can walk around the beautiful gardens around the house. And it wasn't really an afternoon tea because we went like first thing in the morning. But while you join us on this morning tea experience, I want to talk a little bit about the immigrant experience, or rather, my immigrant experience. Growing up as an immigrant in the States was strange. I'm sure it's something immigrants around the world experience, but I really struggled with my identity as a child and going into my teens. I felt like I never fully belonged anywhere. Like I wasn't American enough in the US. And when I was in Brazil, people would still call me a gringa, which means foreigner, because I didn't grow up there. It was rough. And let me tell you, the immigrant experience is very different for everyone. I know others who have struggled greatly due to the color of their skin, their accent, and their culture. Don't get me wrong, I got picked on a lot when we first moved to the United States, but it was easy for me to pass as, well, a white American. At least until I would tell people my name, because let's face it, Natassia Coelho is not a very American sounding name. I grew up with having to hear a lot of questions that would honestly make me uncomfortable and annoyed sometimes, like, how are you Brazilian if you're white? Did you grow up in the jungle? Are you an illegal immigrant? I'm not even joking. Somebody actually to my face asked me that once, like, excuse me? So yeah, it would lead to some awkward and uncomfortable conversations. But worst of all is just that internal feeling of never feeling that you belong quite anywhere, because I think as humans, we like to label things and to put ourselves in boxes. Like, I am this, but I am not this. Oh, I fit in this box and not in that box. So it led to a lot of insecurities in me because I felt like I was never enough. I was never Brazilian enough, and I was never American enough because I felt like I could only be one or the other. Going back to that feeling of not feeling like you're enough, I definitely think I've overcome that. I understand now that things in life don't have to be so black and white. We're multifaceted individuals, and how ridiculous is it for any one of us to think that we have to choose between being more than one thing? I've made peace with the fact that I'm a mix of two cultures, and that's totally okay. I definitely feel more at home now. I found that feeling more at home in myself has made it feel easier to feel at home in more than one place. Home doesn't have to be one place. You can feel at home in many places. Sometimes your hometown doesn't even feel like home, but a completely new place you travel to may make you feel like you're finally at home. Home is within yourself. Home is with the people you love. This trip was an amazing experience. It was great getting to be roomies with my mom for several weeks. I got to spend quality time with family that I hadn't seen in years. I ate so much good food. No, seriously, I ate a lot. I ate a lot of yummy food. But most of all, I realized how much more at peace I am within myself. I will say the hardest part is always leaving. I always feel like pieces of my heart are scattered in both São Paulo and in Florida. When I leave São Paulo, it's like a piece of my heart stays behind, waiting for me to return. And yet, a piece of me is always in Florida as well. I've learned that while there is a beauty of having two homes, the pain is always knowing that I'll feel saudade for both of them when I'm away for far too long. So while a piece of my heart will always stay behind in São Paulo, I remind myself that I'll be back home again soon.